Just one of the 63 different relief camps that they have in Tando Muhammad Khan. Now, thousands and thousands of people have been displaced because of the floods in the area. You've got 70% of Tando Muhammad Khan, which is just rural area, and out of that, almost 99% of it is cultivated land. And from that, according to the district coordination officer, he says that almost all of that is destroyed. So you can imagine the amount of people that are in need of a home at the moment and in need of aid. Right now, where I'm standing, you can see that this relief center is basically just filled with dirty water. Now, there are said to be at least, we've been told, at least 50 families that are housed up in this area right now. As you can see in front of us, there are families who are basically just sitting in the hallway of this relief center. On the right side, there's actually a door, which is the man who's in charge of this relief camp. That's said where he is sitting, but the door is actually locked. There's nobody here. They tell us that only one time has anybody come in the past 3-4 days to actually give them any rations and to give them any aid. After that, they haven't received anything. Where these people are sitting right here, you can see there's locks on the doors. This is a go-down warehouse. All the doors are locked, so the people can't really even get indoors and stay inside. They're basically left out open to the elements, although they are within this gated compound. Now, you can see the amount of people that are here. They're telling us that a lot of people are getting sick. People are getting skin rashes and different kinds of ailments, as well as diarrhea. So you can see that the people here are extremely needy, and there really is nobody to take care of them. Now, of course, this is just one of the 63 relief camps in the area. That doesn't mean that all of them are like this, but this is representative of what the people have been complaining about, is that there has not really been anyone to come and take care of the camps. Fahmida Mirza herself said that there's no organization, people are needed to help organize the relief centers, to supervise the relief centers, and for NGOs and sugar mill owners and other people to come forward and volunteer and even donate because they're not getting the enough amount of aid and ration that's needed for these people, along with medicine. So as you can see, people behind me are extremely needy. These relief centers need to be beefed up so that people actually are getting what they need. That's the reason why they've been evacuated in the first place from their homes.
The rains may have stopped, but the real battle starts now for thousands of those who have lost their homes and have become internally displaced. Shahryar Mirza takes us to one of the relief centers in Tando Muhammad Khan. Let's take a look.
The floods that have been hitting Sindh since the last 5 days have now put about over 1 million people out of homes and onto the streets, some of them who have been in relief camps, but that's also only about not even a quarter of the amount of people who have been displaced by the floods. We do know that 1.2 million people have been affected by the floods. The Chief Minister of Sindh has asked for budget allocations that were meant for this kind of disaster to be released to the districts, so that the districts can start doing the work that is required so that they can take care of these people, these IDPs who are now out on the streets. Now, we know that just in Badin, Thatta, and in Tando Muhammad Khan, there's been 45 billion rupees worth of damage according to some estimates, and 88 billion worth of damage in places like Mirpur, Khas, Umarkot, Sangar, and all of these areas. So if you put those two together, that's an enormous figure and quite a lot for the government to try and tackle. At this moment, Fahmida Mirza has told us that 2% of the development budget has been allocated towards disasters like this. But of course, on the ground, the situation is such that the people who are affected by the floods feel like none of this money is really trickling down towards them. We know that rescue operations are still going on in some places. Some people refuse to leave their homes because they feel they won't be taken care of once they do leave their homes. But the army and the navy is still busy here in Tando Muhammad Khan trying to get people out of villages who are still stuck. But in places like Badin, the search and rescue operation has already been concluded. Now, aside from that, you've got the provincial government. Many people are asking, what exactly is the provincial government doing? On the district level, there's a lot of shifting of the blame. Then even on on the level of the armed forces, there's a lot of shifting of the blame to the district level. And on the district level, there's shifting of the blame towards the provincial level. Now, we heard from Fahmida Mirza yesterday saying that it's going to be the DCO's responsibility to try and put all these efforts together and provide daily reports of how these relief centers are being taken care of, what kind of efforts are being made to help stem the damage from the floods. Now, we've heard the DCO of Tando Mohammed Khan tell us that one of the issues with draining the water in the area is not really trying to get the water out of the area, but then where is that water going to be expelled? Right now, anywhere you go, whether you're in Badin, whether you're in Mirpur, Khas, whether you're in Tando Mohammed Khan, all sides is basically filled with water. So what we're seeing is some private people are taking water out of one side of the street and putting it on another side of the street. Of course, that's not a solution because the water is still in the same radius and it's not being drained. So that is one of the major issues for how they can try and actually get the water out of these people's villages and start to move people back into villages, because it doesn't seem that this is really sustainable. At the moment, you have about a few 100,000 people out on the streets in different districts across Sindh. Very few people are actually in the relief centers. The relief centers themselves are not receiving the kind of aid distribution that we saw during the 2010 floods. This is also something we've heard, is that a lot of people in the population from around the country have not really been donating to these floods. There's not been as much awareness about these floods or an outcry about these people's lives at the moment that we saw during last year. But there are over 1 million people who are affected and they're in dire need of help, and people over here are just trying to get the word out that whatever's being done is not really enough, and before they can start draining the water and getting back into their homes, they need to be taken care of where they are.
Though many flood affectees are languishing in relief camps, most of them have to fend for themselves. Shahryar Mirza meets one such family who has now no place left to go. Let's take a look.
The floods in Sindh have caused countless damage throughout homes in Sindh. Now, here in the Tando Mohammed Khan district in the Nanji Patel village, I'm standing over here. In this area alone, you've got about 150,000 acres of crops that have been completely inundated with water and destroyed, and over 28,000 houses that have been destroyed. Now, I'm standing here over here where these people used to have a village back on this end. Now what they're doing is they're sticking around by the side of the road. Is the only place where they've found that they can be able to make a new home for themselves while they wait for the water to recede and for the government to help them out with any kind of aid or rations that they can get. Now what we've been seeing today is that they've been taking wood from their destroyed village. They've been carrying it across this water onto the road over here, and trying to build a new area over here where they can stay in the meanwhile. Now over here you see the kids are basically showering in this water, which is stagnant water. Of course there is a threat of disease because of them bathing in this water. There has been reports of diarrhea being caused. These women over here have basically set up shop. This is right on the corner of the road. This is where they're feeding their children. This is where they're also starting to make pots. Now I'm going to show you what you're looking at right now is basically their hand making little stoves for themselves, and this is where they're going to be doing the majority of their cooking. So they really are basically just trying to make do with any way that they can, building everything from scratch, having lost mostly everything from these floods that have hit their area so hard. Now I have with me a family member of theirs. His name is Nata, and he's with me. He's going to tell me a little bit about how he's been surviving and how his family's been living throughout these tough times. Now, अच्छा नाता भाई, आप मुझे बताएं कि कब से यहाँ आए हुए और कौन सा गांव था आपका, और
नागजी पटल
और कब से आए और कैसा गुजार रहे हैं?
गुजारा सर ये से कब मिल रहा है कभी नहीं मिल रहा है, ऐसे भूख प्यास से भूखे बैठे हुए हैं रोड पे।
अच्छा, और हुकूमत की तरफ से कितनी इमदाद आई है, कुछ आया?
या हमारे पास कुछ भी नहीं आया है, हमारे पास कुछ भी नहीं आया है।
अच्छा, और कितने दिन से यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं?
जब बारिश तो वही हुई उसी दिन के इधर बैठे हैं। हमारे घर सारे डूबे पड़े हैं पानी से।
अच्छा, आपने पहले बताया था, देखा था हमने कि आपका एक बेटा वहाँ से लकड़ी ला रहा था, तो क्या यहाँ आपको इरादा क्या है, कितनी देर के लिए आपको यहाँ रहना चाहिए?
बस इधर से यहाँ हमारा ये गाँव सूख जाएगा, उधर चला जाएंगे यहाँ पे।
Chatti, this is we just heard from Nata Khan, who was telling us that basically he's been here for days. He hasn't really received anything from the government. If anything, it hasn't really been enough to sustain them. So what they're doing right now is they're just trying to set up shop over here on the side of the road because they feel that that is the best place that they can get some ration. He doesn't know how long he's going to be here, but at the moment you can see people are basically living hand to mouth, making their own stoves, making everything from scratch in the hopes that the government does help them with some kind of aid distribution, which they feel that they have not been really seeing anything of. And to be completely frank, we haven't really seen any aid distribution on the roads as we saw in the floods last year.